Hello, my name is Aurora. Tonight, in this late hour, I'll be sharing with you some books because I am your cursed librarian for tonight. These are the books that you little beasties and creatures are reading for the best month of the year. I want to thank everyone who submitted a comment sharing what they're reading and their thoughts. I have been told to tell you that, yes, a Halloween interactive video will be coming this week. So before I can begin this video, I must say, be sure to like and comment down below. Let me know what you think about all of these books. And if you would like to get more videos about horror books, especially the spooky kind, then hit that subscribe button. So let us begin. Christie and Durazzo, 3769. I'm reading The September House, an October Screams anthology. Really liking them both. Haunted house stories are my favorite. Mine too. I had a supernatural experience when I was 7, and I've been a pretty creepy gal my whole life. Well, welcome to the Creepy Club. Book Spruce and Beyond says, I'm reading Mischief Night by Mark Towse. It's about a home invasion on Halloween night, which ensues murder and mayhem. Oh, that's really scary. I'm enjoying the pacing and the plot so far. I have also just started reading The Night House by Joe Nesbo, about a demonic old-school phone booth that kills people when they use it. A uniquely terrifying yet immersive story so far. Imagine.
I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy.
Amanda Chase 7691 says, I'm currently reading Camp Slaughter by Sergio Gomez. I love the setting of this book. It takes place in a secluded cabin in the woods. A group of young people go camping, but a crazy cannibal is out to get them. I like the book so far, but I have to say, it's a lot more gory than I expected. Sometimes I'm pleasantly surprised at the gore, but then other times I'm turned off. I think there has to be a perfect balance of
Meaningful gore.
you know? Rivercat0338. Binging the Darcy Coates from my library. Never read her before. And wow, does she need some editing? But it's the perfect, undemanding level of escapist horror I need after a rough few weeks. They are definitely a cozy, uncomplicated read. Ophelia's Fall. Current reads. Haunting of Hill House because I just got a Haunting on the Hill, Elizabeth Hand, in my Nightworms package. And I wanted the original fresh in my mind before I read the new one. Just like Mother, it was next on my TBR pile and it's just bananas. Love them both. Onyx Skies X1X says, I've read a bunch so far, starting in September. Looking Glass Sound by Catriona Ward, Episode 13 by Craig DeLuey, Blanky by Keelan Patrick Burke, Night Film by Marisha Pessel, The Anomaly by Michael Rutger, Come Closer by Sarah Gran, and currently Briardark by S.A. Harrian. I've loved both Looking Glass Sound and Night Film. Both are so twisty and mysterious and creepy. Super Strange Shadow says, I'm reading The Twisted Ones by T. Kingfisher, my first book by her. Not a fan of some of the humor, but the atmosphere is great and has a lot of suspense. I'm curious about why someone warned the main character about the woods. I'm also reading The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson for the first time. The classic haunted house story is a must-read for Halloween. I read The Twisted Ones as well. I thought it was okay. I think it was a little more fantasy than what I was expecting at first. Surge4061 says, Current read, The Woman in Black by Susan Hill. Great atmospheric horror. Halfway through it. I love it. I'm planning on reading some Algernon Blackwood and H.P. Lovecraft short stories as we get closer to Halloween. Ankita9107 says, I'm reading In the Blood by E.C. Samuels, which is basically Salem's Lot, set in a small English village. I've not enjoyed reading a novel this much. on a long time. That's always the best feeling, when suddenly you break that spell, or coming to the realization that maybe the other books you were reading were just not a good fit for you. Leslie Powell McCarty 7067 says, I have read and continue to read anything Halloween related, including Dark Harvest by Norman Patridge, Dead Leaves by Keelan Patrick Burke, October Screams, a Halloween anthology, Halloween Land by Kevin J. Kennedy, Hallows Eve by Al Sarantonio, Carrick Glen by Tony Urban, and The Halloween Store by Ronald Kelly. I love Halloween, and I want all the vibes. Of course, I could read horror all year long, though.
A true Halloween fiend.
That is an impressive list, and it just screams Halloween. The Eerie Fairy Tales. Currently reading Cackle by Rachel Harrison. Just over halfway through, and I absolutely love it. It is like a warm, quiet hug when you're feeling down, a book that makes me giggle and almost cry at the descriptions of the feelings. Rachel knows, y'all. She knows how heavy the heart can be and what we need to lighten it. I have tabbed and highlighted so many quotes and passages. It reminds me of a witchy but more adult Legends and Lattes. If you are looking for a cozy, spooky book, this is it. Others on my TBR: Starling House, Black Sheep, The Family Game, Dracula, Opium and Absinthe, At the Mountains of Madness, Autumn Crow, Dark Matter, Kill Creek. Oh, and hopefully get a dead silence in time. I love when a book, especially a horror book, can make you kind of emotional. It sort of just ups the ante. And I just love that sort of vulnerability. Obsidian Dave 1. Read The Exorcist House recently, and it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. Just finished Dollhouse by John Hunt, and I'm now reading the sequel to that book called Olivia. Not spooky at all, but horrific, simply due to the brutality depicted in the form of sexual assault, torture, and serial murder. It's a rough read at times, but well written and pretty short as well. I do love a story that chills me to the bones. I don't know what it is. Maybe it makes me feel less dead. Perry Phillips. As part of my Halloween celebration, I'm reading Washington Irving's classic, Sleepy Hollow, and the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark series. Both classics, stories that will definitely not let you down for the season. Sarah Ward 5352. Just finished Spiral, the second book in the Ring series. Broke my heart though. Left me feeling hope at the end of the first book to then crush me. I have to say that The Ring was much more moving than I thought it was going to be. Jane Murray 4534. I'm reading The Wolf Gift by Anne Rice and also plugging along with The Passage by Justin Cronin. It wouldn't be Halloween without at least one werewolf. M. Vincent 8706. I'm on Mr. Mercedes by the King himself, trying to make my way to Holly, which sparked my interest, but heard it's a 6th book, so starting from number 1. I'm enjoying it a lot. Waltzing Matilda 9092. I'm reading Practical Magic by Alice Hoffman at the moment, to be followed by The Rats by James Herbert just before Halloween. Shiny New JB. I read The Night House by Joe Nesbo. Disappointingly, Nesbo aims for Stephen King and ended closer to R.L. Stine. The majority of the book is very YA, and it didn't grab me. Next, I'm reading Nosferatu by Joe Hill as a spooky seasonal pick for a book club I'm in with some good friends. Finally, I was going to read It by Stephen King, but I don't think I'll have time now due to how chonky that book is. So I'll just read that one for next month and pretend it's still spooky season to keep the Halloween spirit alive.
Halloween, 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 Halloween.
I always feel pressure to read lots of spooky books in October and have to remind myself, I read spooky stuff all year round. Absolutely. I'm always surprised when people tell me that they only read scary, spooky, or horrific books in October. To me, every day is a possibility for reading horror. I don't understand why you wouldn't embrace it. Uranium milk. I love that. Makes me think of Fallout. I'm reading the mysteries of Rex Stout that have Nero Wolfe as the detective. This detective is very overweight and refuses to leave his house. He just does the thinking, and the other character named Archie Goodwin goes out and does the action stuff. They're a team. What do they call that? Brains and brawn. Namaste be BookTube. I'm rereading Salem's Lot, although I might change to some other novel or nonfiction. Well, Salem's Lot is a pretty solid choice. Little Librarian. This October, I have been trying some light and/or fun horror. I liked The September House, Camp Damascus, and Cackle. Disliked because they were all boring. A House with Good Bones, This Thing Between Us, and Slewfoot. Leslie Spear, 7933. I'm reading all my Abominable books that I haven't got to yet, which is a lot. I'm right there with you. They do pile up on you. I'm always having to catch up, but I'm always so happy that they're there. Crudy Nikki. I'm reading Bram Stoker's Dracula. That's another classic you can't go wrong with. So those, my little beasties of the crypts, those are the books that you are reading for October. It was a very good list, and I think it really captured the spirit of the season. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and you didn't mind me as your host. I hope you found something here today that you might want to pick up, even though it is the end of October. And as one commenter said, you could read something spooky all year round. Don't be afraid. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Do remember to take care of yourselves and to look out for each other. And maybe I will speak to you next time.